I don't like standing in front of you, sir, sorry. So Rhonda Dallas told me to speak from my heart. If I do that, I'm going to cry my eyes out, but I've already done that once, so why not? The first time I walked in this building was in that door, and it was not that door, it was a crappy door that had bullet holes in it, and didn't quite stay shut. And I walked in, and there were piles and piles of stuff on the floor. There was just the bricks and rocks and building materials, and it literally looked like someone was in the middle of doing something, and they just walked out. And that had been 10 years before the day I walked in the door. And the greenhouse, rest its soul, was the windows were half broken out. There were bullet holes. There were panes of glass broken everywhere. Ann Barrett can attest to watching the nightmare that was this property for those years. But in my heart, what I knew from this property was Marche Florist and the flower shop where my family bought all of our flowers. And I know you've heard this again and again, but it is what motivates and drives me. And as I was talking with Senator Pinsky, it's I've been hearing the phrase, and she persisted again and again this week. It just I keep hearing it. And so I think that's been my way to sort of stay vertical through all of the planning. I walked in and I really did hear and see people creating. I could hear the laughter, I could see the colors and the light, and I love this building. In the process, which has been really interesting and a great learning experience, and that's what I live for, is to learn. There have been times when people have said, maybe you should have just torn it down and started over. And while as a business person or a developer, which I'm not, that might have been something someone might have wanted to do. But for me, the reason I bought this building, the reason why I want to be in this building, is because of what this building was and can be and is now again. And that is a place of creativity and community and celebration. And so to all of you, because each one of you here has played a vital role in making this happen in one way or another. I see faces of people here who signed petitions. I see people who testified. I see people who gave great resources. I see people who donated amazing legal services and brilliance, and just all of our champions. This is because of you, and for that I say thank you, and create the world you imagine, and may we all create the world we imagine. And then God turned out the lights. About 5 minutes or so.
I'm going to say something. I'm not speaking at the official.
This is Ruth Grasser, the chef owner of Pizzeria Paradiso. And my wife, I think I'll keep her.
So I want to say something here. I'm not going to be speaking in the official ceremony. But I want to toast Barbara because she just told you the story. And I just need to say that for the 25 years almost in September that we've been together now, I have come to know that this woman is a visionary and a manifester. And she did both with this project. Without her, this would not exist. And so I think we should all take a moment and toast her.
And I'd like to see, because I see him standing right behind Ruth Grasser, the architect of this beauty, Mark McIntyre. Please say welcome and cheer. And beautiful space. And we were lucky enough to have Mark as the architect for the addition at our home, and just the process and what the space turned into. When I saw this building, I just said, I have to call Mark, and because I knew he would. And Mark went to the University of Maryland and lived in Mount Rainier while you were at the university. So having an affinity to the community made a lot of difference for me too, so cheers. Cheers. All right, so now you've got a lot of eating to do, friends, and we can head outside in about 5 minutes and then we can rock and roll? Some more? All right, thank you.
And don't forget there's a students on art show in the gallery.
So as I like to start my conversations with my fellow Prince Georgians, I'd like to say good morning. Am I going to be a pain in the neck and try it one more time? Let's try it again one more time. Over that train. Remember, they need to hear us at Franklin's. Good morning. Good morning. That's what I'm talking about. It's a beautiful day in the Gateway Arts District here in Prince George's County. I'm Barbara Johnson, I think we've all met, the founder and executive director, thank you, of Artworks Now, and this is my partner, Chef Ruth Gresser, the owner of Pizzeria Paradiso. And we both want to thank you all for coming. Please join us in welcoming our special guests, our speakers today, County Executive Rashern L. Baker III, Senator Paul Pinsky, County Council Member Denny Taveras, Hyattsville City Council Vice President Kevin Ward, Maryland State Delegate Ann Healy, surprise guest, and Rhonda Dallas, the Executive Director of the Prince George's Arts and Humanities Council. And please help me welcome all of our area elected officials and their representatives, along with our partners and stakeholders. Please raise your hand if this describes you, if you're representing one of our elected officials, if you are an elected official, if you're one of our donors, great contributors. All of you guys, raise your hand. Everybody, please join me in saying thank you and welcoming these great leaders. I also want to thank our board members for your service and commitment to our mission in our community. Please raise your hand if you're a board member or a former board member of Artworks Now. Please join me in thanking these wonderful people. And if you're interested in joining us in this work, please connect with one of these folks and they can talk with you and share information. I don't know where they are. They're probably behind the scenes working because that's what they do. Except for when they're in front of the scenes. I want to thank our staff for all that you do every day to provide art education and creative activities to so many people in our area. Last year, these joyful, creative teaching artists and administrators made it possible for Artworks Now to serve over 10,000 children and adults, ranging from toddlers and senior citizens in our studios, in our area schools, and at partner locations. So thank you to all of my staff. And now I want to say a very personal thank you to someone who plays many roles in my life. She's been my life partner for 25 years, my partner in this project for 5 years, the person who picked me up when the greenhouse fell, and most recently, our tenant here at 4800 Rhode Island Avenue. Please help me in giving an amazing Prince George's County welcome to my spouse, Chef Ruth Gresser. We have some really great people to hear from today, so I'm going to really try to be brief. Those of you who know me know, try is the operative word. So many of you know the journey to this place, but there might be a few of you out there who don't, so I'm going to do a really quick synopsis. I founded Artworks in 2011 in a little studio just down the road above the post office in my hometown of Mount Rainier. Yay, Mount Rainier! I thought I was creating a space for my high school students to work on their college portfolios after school. But I had an inkling that there might be more, and very quickly there was. By 2012, it was clear we needed more space. Our creative programs for toddlers, school-age children, teens, and adults with disabilities, and our intergenerational open studios programs needed more space. And we needed space that was accessible to everyone, especially people with mobility challenges, as our original location was at the top of a steep staircase. And then the space I'd been pining for became available, but it was a mess. Now, I'd never renovated a commercial property before. I'm an artist. I make stuff. I've made studios out of unlikely and inhospitable places. So I thought, how much could it cost? We just need some new wiring and heating and cooling and new bathrooms. Well, I quickly found out how much. But the coolest thing happened, and it kept happening. People kept offering us resources to make it happen. The first person to call me was Jim Chandler of the city of Hyattsville. Yay, city of Hyattsville. And he said, we have a facade improvement grant, you should apply. And we did. And the city of Hyattsville awarded us $126,000. The city of Hyattsville basically paid for all of the windows that you are looking at right now. Half, I should say, because it was matching, right, Shani? Then I met with Peter Shapiro of the County Revenue Authority because I'd heard him make a speech at an Arts District event where he said, and he might be sorry he said it, but I don't think he is, he's a good guy. He said, you guys keep having great ideas and we'll figure out how to pay for them. Right? Yeah. So I went and I took our model to meet with Peter, Tochi and I did, and we had a great meeting. The greatest thing that happened was that I found out he was a foodie, and we started inviting him to our chef's dinner event. And now Ruth and I are very close friends with he and his wife Julia. So that's another great thing that's happened from this building is that we've gained such great personal friends. So Peter suggested that I meet with Howard Ways of the Redevelopment Authority, and Howard suggested that we apply for the Community Impact Grant. And we did. And they awarded us $50,000. And then I was at a holiday party here in the community, and I was talking to Brooke Kidd of Joe's Movement Emporium, and she said, you gotta make sure you look into getting a bond bill from the state. I thought to myself, what the heck is a bond bill? Because remember, I'm an artist, I make stuff. But I nodded, okay, I'll do that. That sounds great, you're right. And I went home and I found out what a bond bill was. And then I met with our great state senator, Paul Pinsky, who was completely supportive. He and our delegates, Tawana Gaines, Ann Healy, and Alonzo Washington, supported our request to the state. And with their help, we received 3 bond bills totaling $250,000. And it literally kept coming. Generous funders like the Philip L. Graham Fund and many others joined in to help. Our community, you, helped us raise another $250,000 through fundraising events. And then our friends at Eagle Bank made it possible to get a great loan at very reasonable costs, right? Yay, Eagle Bank! I'll tell you, it was a very cool meeting I had with Len Rand of Eagle Bank, and we brought him out here, and he said, Eagle Bank wants into Prince George's County. We want to do it. And so, as I've seen Eagle Bank signs sprout up along Route 1, I've thought, Eagle Bank's in Prince George's County, that's awesome. So they've been tremendous. Then over these past 5 years, our staff, so over these past 5 years, our staff has developed a habit of responding with glee over every donation we receive. And we do that really, it's just sort of instinctual with a big woo-hoo whenever we receive a gift of any size. So to wrap up this narrative about all of this giving and all this giving that all of you have done, I'd like to ask you to all together now, on the count of 3, I want you to give yourselves and one another one big giant woo-hoo. You ready? Really, put your everything into it, down from your toes. You ready? I'll stand away from the microphone so no one dies. Okay? 1, 2, 3. Woo! So the common thread, well, these funds came from the community, the city, the county, and the state. The common thread is people, you. Your generosity and willingness to participate so fully in our vision is astounding and deeply humbling, and I thank you all from here. See there, I just broke. And I thank you all from the bottom of my native Prince Georgian heart. Thank you. So now let's hear from some really great people. First, I'd like to welcome Rhonda Dallas, who is the Executive Director of the Prince George's Arts and Humanities Council. Thanks to Rhonda, the Arts Council has been a tremendous partner and supporter of many of Artworks programs and projects. Just last month, we finished installation of a project developed through the Arts Council with the Department of the Environment, our first ever public sculpture, lovingly referred to as the Giant Flower. It now stands in front of the county building at 1801 McCormick Drive. In addition, the Arts Council regularly supports our school programs, school murals, and summer camps. And for this project, the Arts Council supported our Master Pizzas initiative, the creation of pizza artwork by artists and organizations of the Gateway Arts District on permanent view at Pizzeria Paradiso. Rhonda's vision of our county is inspiring and contagious. She works literally, and I know this to be true, literally around the clock, to fill our public spaces with engaging art, to support the creative education of our children, and to promote the artists of our county. Please join me in welcoming Rhonda Dallas.
Good morning, everyone. So today is an awesome day. I mean, what we're witnessing here is just absolutely phenomenal. So I spoke with my staff. I said, I want to do something more than just give remarks, because it's easy to stand here and talk about the amazing work of Barbara and Artworks and how they are literally changing the lives of our youth and everyone that comes through this space. And Barbara, as you said, it's just contagious. And this partnership that she has formed with Ruth, I mean, it's a model project. We're talking about public-private partnerships where the nonprofit arts community and the business community have come together to create this phenomenal space. And I hope to see more of these throughout the county, not just here, but throughout the county. So, without further ado, what I'd like to do is bring one of our board members up, Mayor Petrella Robinson. She can join me because yay, Mayor Robinson. She is such an advocate for the arts as well. Come on up. Whew.
Yay, Mayor Robinson.
Yes, so on behalf of the Board of Directors and the staff of the Prince George's Arts and Humanities Council, we would like to give both you, Barbara, and Ruth, you stand up, the Creative Industry Innovation Award. This award we gave out for our 30th anniversary. The first one went to Margaret Boozer, Red Dirt Studio, another trailblazer. But we thought that this was so appropriate to give this to you in recognition of your unbounded vision and creativity that sparks heartfelt dreams to amazing realities. We love you and thank you for anchoring this dream in Prince George's County.
Thank you very much.
Okay, yes, sure. Okay, all right, we're done? Okay.
I'm whispering up here that I'm just moved beyond. I don't know how I'm going to finish this day. This means so much to me. Thank you. Thank you to the Arts Council. I'm sitting to you my next remarks. Sorry, that was bad. Okay, so really thank you, Rhonda and Mayor Robinson. That was not in my script that was going to happen. Thanks. Whew. Our next speaker also wears a lot of hats and even more shoes. He is our city council, see, they know you. He is our city council representative, the vice president of the council, a donor, and one of the dads of one of our awesome after-school students. Please welcome Hyattsville City Council Vice President Kevin Ward.
Good morning. Thanks for coming out on this frigid July morning. When I was asked by the mayor, who couldn't make it, if I would do some words here, I was like, absolutely. And when I told the staff at Artworks I was going to do it, they asked if Norman was coming, who's my son. Norman's not here. Norman's in Texas with Nana. But I do want to take some time and just talk to you all about why this is so meaningful to Hyattsville, to Ward 1, to the Arts District. So we're here to celebrate dreams, art, and most of all, maybe not most of all, at least for me at the moment, pizza. So I'd like to thank you all for the opportunity to share a few words of congratulations to Artworks Now and Pizzeria Paradiso. I literally cannot believe we are actually here, and I appreciate all of the neighbors who called, who wrote, who opined about whether it be fast casual, it wasn't really happening, and this or that. Please stop writing and calling me. It is here. I congratulate Barbara Johnson and Ruth Gresser and their staffs for years of the hard work that they put into this. I remember walking into this building, I guess a little over 2 years ago, and looking over to my husband Chad and saying, I'm not sure they're going to do this, but I sure hope they put AC in this building. And it was one of the things that made my heart full and made me confident that Artworks Now was the right place to put our son after school, the right place to have him come during summers. But it also told me that the 25-year partnership between Ruth and Barbara is something to be envied by all of us. I'm not sure, thank you. I'm unsure how many of us could work with our spouses or share rebuilding a building with our spouses and then having a spouse be a tenant in a building. I'm not sure how many of us could do any of those things, but it is a tremendous accomplishment here. And I stopped by yesterday and spoke with Barbara and said, I want to make these things a little bit personal and hear about why you and Ruth decided to do this. And Barbara sat back in her chair as she was dictating the weather to me and told me, I knew it would be this building. I knew it would be the Marche Florist building. I knew it had to be home for me because this was the place my family got all their flowers. This was the place my mother and I would come to pick up flowers for any event, family dinner, prom, all of those kinds of things. And I could see the light in her eyes. And then I said, well, tell me how you convinced Ruth to do this. She said, well, I brought her to Hyattsville, and we ate at Franklin's, and we walked through the Arts District, and we sat at Busboys. And she said, okay, I get it. I'll do it. And I'd like to say to Barbara, not only thank you for doing this in Hyattsville, but thank you for staying home. Yes. Thank you for staying in the county, and thank you for staying in the Arts District. When you spoke to me yesterday about your family, your friends, and others who helped you through this, you kept coming back to your mother and how she supported you through everything you did. And, I'd like to just end with saying this to you, Barbara. I believe your mother and the streets of heaven are smiling down on you right now. There are people who are looking down on you and knew that you could do it and gave you the strength and gave you the faith and the wherewithal to get through it. Thank you, and God bless you all. Before I sit down, I do want to read this proclamation from the mayor. It says, this proclamation declares July 15th, 2017 to be a day for art and pizza in the city of Hyattsville in honor of the grand opening of Artworks Now and Pizza Paradiso. Whereas Artworks Now and Pizzeria Paradiso are cutting the ribbon today on their new locations in Hyattsville, and whereas this follows years of planning and work to bring to fruition the vision of Barbara Johnson and Ruth Gresser, and whereas the city of Hyattsville supported the adaptive reuse and renovation of the Marche Florist building with a facade improvement grant, and support was also provided by the state of Maryland, Prince George's County Council, and community members, And whereas countless Hyattsville residents will benefit from the artistic and delicious opportunities offered by these two institutions. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the mayor and council of the city of Hyattsville declare July 15th to be a day for art and pizza. Thank you.
Wow. Thank you, Kevin. You know, I don't want you to think I'm crazy when I tell you about all the things I hear in my head, but I also have heard in my head a lot the saying about, you know, you can never go home, and it's not true. It's not true. As I said, born in Mount Rainier, growing up in Hyattsville and Riverdale, and then I went off to grad school and my first job in South Texas, and then working in Chicago for years, and then I met this really cute girl, and I, like on our third date, moved from Chicago back to DC, and that was 25 years ago. So it's her fault I came back home, and for that I'll always be grateful. It means a great deal. This everything. And thank you so much, Kevin. So we're gonna do a little quick change in what I was gonna do, and I'd like to ask. I don't have something nice written about you, Anne. I'm sorry, but what I can say without any preparation or scripting is. That it was the support of our delegates and our senator here that gave us so much. It's a great push to get to the completion of this project. So I'd like to ask you to help me welcome our Maryland delegate, state delegate, Ann Healy.
Thank you, Barbara, and thank you so much for including me in this. I still have my green hard hat from a couple years ago when we broke ground for this. I am so pleased that you have brought this back to life, because even though I'm not a native of Prince George's County, I've lived here a long time, and my family back in the 1980s used to get all our flowers here, and it was the most beautiful place on Route 1. When there were all the car dealers and all the other kind of things that were not very attractive, this was the spot. It was landscaped, it was beautiful. And to see it deteriorate was really sad as we were looking at everything else coming to life. So you breathing new life back into this location has been heartwarming to me and to so many of us who've lived in Hyattsville all these years. I really want to say thank you, and I want to not really go beyond that, because we are looking forward to you being part of this community even more than you have been. I know, listening to you today, I could tell you're a teacher, the way you engage the people, and it's wonderful. And thank you so much. And thank you, Ruth, for having the vision to come here and to have the courage to put your investment in this community. I hope that we can support you, and I know that I'm looking forward to being here many times in the future. Thank you, Barbara.
So in speaking about that support of the great city of Hyattsville and the community, I have a little bragging point, because I was the salesperson on this deal with her. So I keep trying to make sure my work is like I'm living up to my promises. And I was thrilled to find out that last Saturday at the end of the day that the first day open for Pizzeria Paradiso Hyattsville broke records of all first day openings of any Pizzeria Paradiso anywhere. Right on! Sorry, I just had to let loose on that. So let's get back to being a little bit more formal. So our next speaker is a passionate and strong advocate for social justice issues, which is one of the reasons I love her. She works to improve the lives of working families and diverse communities. She has over 15 years of experience as a policy analyst within state, local, and federal government, among other organizations, including working as chief of staff for Senator Victor Ramirez, who was here. I hope he's still here. Yay, there's Vic. Say hi, Victor. Her work on the county council is focused on improving our public schools, providing safer streets, and increasing sustainable economic development. Something very dear to my heart. Please join me in welcoming Prince George's County Council Member for District 2, Denny Taveras.
Thank you so much for coming out on this hot day today. I can't say enough about what's happening here. We're really talking about revolutionizing Route 1. I love the fact that this is what we call true infill development at its best. The merging of two entities, Pizzeria Paradiso and Artworks, to create a sustainable organization that can move forward into the future. And that's exactly the kind of innovative, out of the box thinking that we really need here in the county. And I'm so happy that it's happening here today. And I just want to give them a hand on that. But if we're really talking about social justice issues, it's really about education within Prince George's County. And I just want to say that what Artworks does makes every student that attends Artworks a better student. And that is really what drives the mission of Artworks. And I really have to say that if it weren't for arts, it wouldn't move if it weren't for the arts and how it influences education, it wouldn't move the needle to where we are here in the county. And I so appreciate organizations like Artworks filling the gap for evaporating arts programs within, I would say, the nation as a whole. And I really applaud their work and their mission. And you'll probably hear more about that from the council, the county executive, Short Baker, as he is a strong proponent of education. So I just want to say, in closing, I don't want to take up too much time, but that this is a special day today. And as a pizza connoisseur, it is one of my favorite foods, I must say. I can't wait to go in and delight in Pizzeria Paradiso's product. But I just want to encourage everybody to come out here, support not only the business, but support the organization, and let's make it happen. Let's put a new mark on Route 1 as we continue to innovate and strategize how to make Route 1 a better place. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Denny. Councilmember Taveras. I just feel like I related, so it's hard to call you Councilmember Taveras, but officially. I'm very pleased to be able to introduce our next speaker, as he was unable to attend our groundbreaking because I keep scheduling things when he's got something else going on, and it's terrible, but and I keep goofing, but we didn't goof today, and we caught him before he's going out of town. So back at the groundbreaking, Senator Pinsky wasn't here to get all of the love, and so we have to give him a double dose of love today. Senator Paul Pinsky has served as a strong progressive voice in the Maryland General Assembly for over 25 years. He has worked tirelessly to improve life for Maryland's working and middle-income people, and his vision for his district and our state has been vital in the smart and deliberate growth we're witnessing in our community today. In recent months, he has served as a strong defender of the rights of Marylanders, and his wisdom and courage are so needed and welcomed in these very interesting times. His support of this project has made the great difference for us
please help me in welcoming Maryland State Senator Paul Pinsky.
Thank you, Barbara, for the warm welcome. And as everyone else,
Shout out,
Donald Trump Senator.
Senator! It's all his fault.
Besides formally welcoming Barbara and Ruth to Route 1, I too want to talk about the mission, the actual work that takes place here. Educating our young people about art, giving them the skills to perform art. I dare say it actually empowers these young people. You know, the great playwright Bertolt Brecht said, art is not a mirror to reality, it's a hammer to shape reality. That it just simply doesn't reflect what's happening, pictures of art. It can be used to actually affect our culture, shape our history. So the mission that Barbara has been on for years and will continue here is very, very important. Obviously, it's a shift from down Route 1 up here into Hyattsville, but the importance should not be underplayed or minimized. The word social justice has been raised and mentioned earlier. I believe giving people the skills and the education to actually shape the culture is another tool in the struggle for social justice. And doing it for working and poor families and children of those families is a valiant and a very important task, and I thank you for what you're doing, Barbara, here in Prince George's County. Now, we've also heard about Pizzeria Paradiso and Ruth. Well, I think it's a great entree, joining Mike Franklin at Franklin's and Andy Shalal with Busboys and Poets. It's creating a dynamism here along the Route 1 corridor. And you know, for centuries, to our north in New York City, Manhattan was considered the center of art, the center of education, the center. But in recent decades, that has shifted to Brooklyn. That's where the grassroots energy, creativity, progressive politics is taking place. And I believe Washington is a great place, a little staid, and many of us have lived there at one time or another. But Prince George's County, and particularly the northern part of Prince George's County, is becoming our Brooklyn. It really is. And you are the people, the pioneers, as well as many other people who have set roots here or are coming to Route 1 and East-West Highway and other parts of Prince George's County that is going to make a really dynamic place where lots of people are going to come. Now, that being said, we want to bring new people, but we also want to ensure the people who are here are not displaced. We are going to do this creatively and with the help of the county executive and his successor to bring in new energy, new dynamism, diverse dynamism and energy, as well as retaining and ensuring that the working and middle income and poor families have a place in Prince George's County. A number of people have mentioned Marche Flowers. Well, they had, and I'm pulling this from Stuart Eisenberg, we talked earlier, Stuart's here somewhere. For many years, flowers bloomed, but now we have young children who are blossoming. That they are here, they're coming here after school. Artworks is going out to the schools and really doing an important service to help the future of this county and this nation. I'm very pleased, I'm very proud to be here. I wish both of you the best of luck. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Senator Pinsky. So in between visits from Kevin and some other cool people, I spent hours trying to come up with the words to introduce our final speaker. Hi, Alonzo. His support for the arts and arts education and his
leadership in economic development have elevated our county to an historic level of excellence. His integrity inspires all of us to do better, and his vision gives me hope for the future of my hometown, my home county, and my state. Every time I try to engage my brain to talk about this gentleman, my heart takes over. Well, I could tell you all about the great things that have been accomplished by our county executive. I find what is most essential for me to share is my respect and admiration for him as a leader and as a person. I'm honored and humbled to share one of the most momentous days of my life with our great county executive, Rashern L. Baker III. I love you too. And that's the truth.
Since I know I'm the last speaker, I'm going to be brief. I'll do this since, not that I have a proclamation from the mayor, I can't outdo that, but a little one from the county executive. I'm not going to read all the whereas, but I will read this last part. And now, therefore, I, Prince George's County Executive Rashern L. Baker, proclaim the 15th of July, 2017 as Artworks and Pizzeria Paradiso Paint and Pizza Day in Prince George's County. It's a nice plaque to say it. Really, it's just a way to get my name on the wall. Barbara, come on up. Ruth? I'm going to get a quick picture here.
I got to hold this spot for me?
Yeah.
All right, 1, 3 here. 1, 2, and 3. Also got this thing.
Okay?
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
So I just want to say, first of all, I want to thank Senator Pitsky and Ann Healy and for their work and their remarks. And we give them a round of applause. And Denny Tavares for bringing up the most important issue in Prince George's County. That is our education system. And that is why this is so important today. I won't go into, as I always do, about how the arts is important to me, but I will say this. Please buy lots of art. Buy creative art, because I've got a young one that just came out, so, do that for me. But I'd like to end on something I heard Barbara say while we were in there. And she talked about the fact that she's not a developer. And I couldn't help but remember how I got started in my first actual public life, and that was working for a nonprofit in DC on U Street, where we were trying to develop the U Street and H Street corridors there by keeping the integrity of the people who live there, but actually seeing how we could grow it. And she really has done that, because real economic development is not about bricks and mortars and glass. Anybody with money, as I've said this before, ask Donald Trump, can buy a building, kick people out, and call it economic development. Real economic development is about building up people and developing communities. That is really what today is about. Building up people and developing this community, and that's what we want throughout Prince George's County. God bless you. This is a great day for us.
I've never cut a ribbon before. Get up here, Ruthie. So we all should put our hands on it, right?
Somebody should hold the ribbon.
Okay.
Senator, can I get you a little bit more to your left? There you go. Thank you.
See that guy with the blue hat on?
Everyone looking up, everyone looking this way, please.
I need your hand on this.
Everyone looking this way, please. Looking up at me, please. Everyone looking up at me, please.
Are you ready?
No, look at me, please. Thank you. Now we're ready.
Ready? 1. Hey, so what should we say? Should we say something?
1, 2, 3, cut.
Okay, we're gonna say whoa. We're gonna do woohoo. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Woohoo!